Don't be a naive networker. Time is valuable, and uninformed networking can be a kiss of death for many people. Time is an entrepreneur's most valuable asset, and time is frittered away in worthless meetings when dollars are being chased. The fundraiser has much more control over this than they believe. We live in a culture that kowtows to the rich and famous, and people think that they will have fundraising success if they only get that magical meeting with that rich person. Most of these people will not matter in accomplishing a fundraising goal because they do not share the same passion or vision of the future. Fortunately, today it is easier than ever to figure this out before approaching investors. Focus on smart networking. Find the right people to talk to and get in front of them. Getting a meeting with a person that shares a vision of the future and a passion for an industry and a business opportunity will be greater than 50 meetings with rich people. Control the process of who is being engaged in dialogues in meetings. Investors are people, and they want to be treated like normal people. Just like everyone else in the world, they don't like salespeople and beggars. So the best way to approach people that could be candidates to invest? Open a dialogue like you would with a friend or a colleague. Share tips, insights on the industry, business trends. This isn't advice to be schmoozy and talk about the weather and kids. Leave that to the cold calling salesperson. The fundraiser's job is to open up peer-to-peer dialogue, CEO to CEO, founder to founder, successful person to successful person. Make them appreciate the conversation as much as the fundraiser appreciates their time. People invest in people, and the only way that happens is when people know each other, and that always starts by opening up a conversation. The old saying is, the best time to raise money is when you don't need it. So don't be a beggar in the fundraising process. The biggest issue in fundraising is not to find enough potentials to speak with. The biggest issue is filtering the list of people to speak with that best fits the needs of the organization. The greatest tool to leverage when fundraising is to do an honest analysis of who not to talk to. The most valuable asset of every entrepreneur is their time. Investing the time to research people and their interests pay off, primarily by reducing the amount of time wasted on the wrong conversations. It is critical to fast-fail potential investors, so create a list of filters. An easy way to filter where time will be spent with and who is to do an honest assessment of the characteristics of people that founders could not tolerate. Here's an example. If the company and its founders would have a cultural conflict, that's someone that swears a lot or has a reputation of being very difficult to work with, use this list to pre-screen the reputations of these potential investors before bothering to invest the time to engage in conversations with them. Recognize what is driving the decision to invest and how you can match what an investor is seeking. If you aren't a good fit, that's okay. Fish where the fish are. The best way to do this is to fast fail an investor as opposed to assuming that you aren't the right fit. Put together a list of a few questions that will help your deal team identify if a potential investor would be a good owner of the company. Soliciting responses to your questions will also lead your investor prospects to a more in-depth and productive conversation about a long-term relationship. Finally, the number one reason we've seen small companies fail in the fundraising process is that they allow others to waste their time, and that most often happens because the company did not adequately strategize in a fundraising process.